You know what they say about marriage, that it's the merging of two families. But what happens when one family never actually lets you in? Last Christmas, I learned exactly what that feels like. Ted and I had been married for 2 years, together for 4. He's 34, I'm 30. And from the moment I met his family, I knew I wasn't their type. They're old money, all about appearances. Perfect smiles, polished manners, unspoken rules that they expect everyone to just magically understand. I come from a modest background. Warm, loud, a little messy, but loving. Ted said he didn't care about that. He said he loved me for who I was. But love doesn't mean much when it doesn't show up when you need it most. Last Christmas, we flew out to visit his family. It was tense from the moment we walked in. I thought I was being respectful. I brought desserts I made myself, wore a nice blouse with a leather jacket, smiled and introduced myself to everyone. I didn't realize there was a test I was failing, one silent moment at a time. After dinner, no one said anything directly. But back at the hotel, Ted showed me a list, a literal list his mother had texted him, of all the things I'd supposedly done wrong. Wrong desserts, wrong clothes. I hadn't stood up when guests arrived. Apparently, I didn't smile enough. I didn't blend. I read every bullet point like a slap in the face. Ted said nothing, just stared at the screen like he was reading the weather report. I asked him, "And what do you think about this?" He shrugged, said something like, "She just wants everything to be perfect. It's not personal." But it was personal. It always is when someone makes you feel like an outsider in your own marriage. Fast forward to this year. Christmas is approaching. The invitation arrives, but this time, it's addressed to Ted, and only to Ted. He tells me, casually, like he's giving me a traffic update, "Yeah, so, my mom didn't invite you this year." I blinked. "What?" She said after last year, with all the little things, she just thinks maybe it would be better if it was just me this time. And he wasn't kidding. I asked him if he was actually considering going without me, to a house where his mother has very clearly drawn a line in the sand. He just shrugged again, said he's never spent Christmas away from his family, and he wasn't about to break the cycle now, like I was some kind of disruption, a wrinkle in their well-pressed tradition. Then he added, and I'll never forget this, "You should make your own plans. Invite your friend Regina over, or do something for yourself. Just nothing too crazy, capiche?" Capiche? I stood there, heart pounding, not even sure how to respond, so I didn't. I let it go. I figured, if they didn't want me there, I wasn't going to force it. I told myself I'd be okay. I'd keep it together. Maybe even have a peaceful holiday. But that doesn't mean I wasn't hurt. I was devastated. Not because I missed out on fancy decorations or catered meals, but because the man I married, the man who promised to build a life with me, didn't even flinch when I was excluded from his. So Christmas Eve arrives. He comes home, coat slung over his arm, keys in hand, and says, "Are my bags ready?" I looked at him. "I don't know. Did you pack them?" He froze, like I'd just spoken in a different language. "Wait, you didn't pack my bags?" "No," I said calmly. "You're traveling alone. You didn't ask me to, and I've only ever packed when we travel together." That's when the explosion started. He lost it, started pacing, raised his voice, said I made him late, said I ruined his plans. The flight, the hotel, the gifts, all compromised because I refused to help him. He accused me of punishing him, of being bitter and petty. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I just listened. Then he dropped this gem. "It's not like I'm going away to another country to party with strippers or something, though I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be this pissed if I was. I'm just going to spend time with my family, and honestly, I don't know what's wrong with you anymore." And just like that, he turned his betrayal into my fault. He scrambled to throw things into his suitcase. Ties, shoes, shirts, none of it folded. No charger. Forgot most of the gifts. Stormed out without a goodbye. And now, He's not speaking to me. Not a word since. And for the record, no, I didn't refuse to help him. I just didn't assume that a grown man, traveling without his wife, needed me to pack his socks and toiletries like I was the maid. I didn't sabotage him. I didn't lash out. I simply let him carry the weight of his own choices. Later, I found out that it wasn't just his mother who wanted me excluded. His father and brothers were in on it too. Apparently, they figured it would be best if I didn't come. They said they were giving me options, as if isolation was a gift. Ted told me, "It's just temporary, until you and my family get used to each other." Used to each other? How do you get used to people who refuse to see you? How do you adapt to a table that never set a place for you in the first place? So now I sit here. In this house we share, alone, looking at the empty space where a tree should be. No lights, no laughter. Just silence. The kind that settles in your chest like cold ash. I think back to what he said, that he's never spent a Christmas away from his family. But I'm his family now, aren't I? I married a man who promised partnership, but I feel more like a footnote in his life. A +1 who didn't get the invite. A name his mother wishes she could white out from the wedding photos. So, am I the asshole? For not packing his bags. For letting him walk out unprepared. For holding my own dignity in place when everyone else tried to tear it apart? Or am I just finally realizing that maybe I've been packing the wrong bags all along? Sometimes the most painful silence isn't when someone forgets to say, "I love you." It's when they say nothing at all while you're being erased. In this story, OP didn't just experience exclusion. She experienced betrayal by the one person who should have had her back. Marriage isn't just a contract. It's a covenant. A promise to stand together when the world draws lines around you. But here, Ted chose tradition over truth. Legacy over loyalty. His own comfort over his partner's pain. To anyone listening right now who's ever felt like a guest in their own relationship, ask yourself, are you being invited into someone's life or just expected to serve it? Drop a comment below if you've ever had to choose between keeping the peace and keeping your self-respect. And if you were in OP's shoes, what would you have done? Because in the end, sometimes the quietest decisions are the ones that scream the loudest. Capiche?